So, we're an active lifeboat station, all right? That means any day of the year, including Christmas Day, even if they're at a Christmas party, whatever they're doing, the crew are ready to go, day or night. And this kit room here is the stuff they grab to put on when they're going on the big boat. We've got 2 lifeboats. Big one, which we call an all-weather lifeboat. Well, simply an ALB, all right? When you've eaten enough Weetabix,
Is it on?
just see how much Weetabix you need to.
Is it heavy?
Mummy put it on. Daddy.
And that's
Wow.
the inflatable. I mean,
That's a life jacket.
Wow.
Going to
Yeah.
keep you afloat, not make you
That's
sink.
it. That's it. There's the technical bit down here.
It's like the baby carrier.
Yep.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
that mean anything to you?
290N, 290 newtons.
Newtons, correct. So that's the amount of uplift that you can get from this life jacket.
Right.
The inshore lifeboat, that's 380 newtons.
Oh, right.
The average sailor going to see, like the crews for the Azab race, and we've just had a couple of the crews through looking at the lifeboat, hoping that they're not going to need it, which is setting out tomorrow,
Yeah.
midday.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine putting this stuff in your boots in the bath.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why you've got, for offshore boats, 150 newtons normally in the life jacket.
Right.
We
right.
use 290 and 380.
Right.
Boys and girls?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, and they all have their own
Are
way
they
of,
volunteers?
all bar one person. Every lifeboat station, it's usually a station mechanic. In our case, it's now the coxswain mechanic. Up there, you just see a generic message repeating. If the lifeboats are getting called, that'll change, and it'll come up and it'll say ALB launch, or ILB launch, or ALB stroke ILB launch. In other words, both boats. Yep. Do you know, how old are you?
Eden, how old?
3. You probably won't know yet how the lifeboat gets called out, do you?
How do
think
they
it gets
how do
good.
How do
they
you-
call?
How do you call the lifeboat
Telephone?
if you need some help?
Shout?
That's one way. Not many people may hear it.
Yeah.
How will they hear you if you have a telephone?
Beep, pager?
No, how do they call?
We call, first of all, emergency services.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
So do we ring up
999.
Ring up
Coast
999, correct,
Yeah.
Coast Guard, and
Lifeboat,
they'll
presumably, or?
talk you through, no,
Oh, right.
if you just say the Coast Guard, they'll talk you through the questions.
Yeah. Is it
You basically need to know where you are,
Mm.
where you're looking, what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's more or less the sort of
Yeah.
that way. And then it's got gradually better, bit of sail power, motor power, and then this one here was 1 month into service before the Fastnet disaster,
Oh, right.
and she was away for 6 days for that, forward based in the Scillies. And we had a precursor to the inshore lifeboats. I'll tell you a little bit about the ribs in a moment, but then we got Falmouth Lifeboat, which was introduced here at the same time as this boathouse was built. So the funding with Falmouth Roundtable was all part of that. And next door we've got I won't say the overflow, but part of the Coast Guard's facility. So these are our current boats here. Gives an indication of the length of the craft. Yeah. So and it's tight. Therefore, this is 17 meters long, nearly 40 tons, biggest in the RNLI fleet. It can only be kept afloat. It can't be kept on a ramp and launched from or any other way. It's only on a mooring or on a pontoon. 29 is the 29th in the fleet. And if you could read the number on the one that's out on the mooring out there, That is the last one built. That's number 44. I'm going to show you a very special picture.
It's warm down here, actually. Well, I probably will.
Do you see where she's standing? Exactly where you're standing.
That's good.
Yeah, you're standing where the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh were standing. This vessel was commissioned in December 2001.
No, sit down.
You can sit there, darling. You can sit there. No, you wasn't sure about
You're
that.
all right.
Do you want to sit with Mummy there?
December 2001, yep, this vessel came to us. And on the 1st of May 2002, the Queen's Golden Jubilee,
Yeah.
yep, she named the vessel just round the corner in Maritime Museum. And afterwards, see there's that backdrop, Maritime Museum. Afterwards they were given a trip out.
Was
on
that
the
with a
deck
bottle
here.
of champagne? on
Yep,
it?
yep.
Oh. Right.
Right there. Right there. But the numbers are important. Do you see those pictures there? No numbers. No numbers. Wow. That is this vessel. Yep. So what's happening there is that where she's being fitted out in Cowes, before she's being commissioned, they're doing a trial on her writing ability. Yep. And they purposely strap her over, turn her upside down, and when she's upside down, all right, no fuel, no stores in, no crew on. She's floating at that level there. Yep. If you look at this cutaway here, which is a diagram of this vessel, imagine she's floating at that level there. Yep. And that's her waterline, which you'll see over there. She's deeper when she's upside down in the water than when she's this way up. Yep. 38 tons of boat was righting itself then inside 6 seconds. Yep. As long as it's inside 10 seconds, they'll be commissioned. This boat now, with its stores on, with its fuel on, and it takes 5 tons of diesel, it rights in about 15 seconds, depending on the conditions. But to get it to go right upside down takes a huge wave. Yep. Big seas. But this is an all-weather lifeboat, and frankly, these are the best lifeboats in the world. And there's no plan to replace these. Do you know about the latest ones?
No.
Jet boats, faster than these. These are about 25 knots maximum, 40 knots the Shannon class. And this is called a 7 class.
Yeah.
And that one, the latest one's called a Shannon. And the one before that, the latest one, which has a 16 on the bow, that's a Tamar. You're getting the drift of the names of the vessels. Yeah. Why is the latest lifeboat in the RNLI named after an Irish river?
Built in Ireland.
Nope. It's
Rescued somebody.
because the RNLI is not just responsible for UK waters, it's the whole of the British Isles and Ireland.
No, don't
And
touch.
it's,
Don't pull it.
and it's out, and that vessel there is an Irish lifeboat of the RNLI. Yeah. So out to 100 nautical miles around all of the coastline is where we're responsible for. We of course have the French coastline. Next lifeboat station up's Foy. Next one down is the Lizard, where there's a Tamar. But she's just waiting to go back to Ireland, back into service again. And when a lifeboat is off station, a relief boat will come onto station. So for instance, when this vessel was up in Scotland for a refit last year, and we had a relief boat here. It's neutral. It's a totally different atmosphere in here now, isn't it?
Yes, it's warm.
This, to be honest, at sea is a bit like being in a tumble dryer.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
Yep. Not everybody can take it.
As in it's noise.
No,
it's seasicky.
A lot of people get too seasick.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah. So if they are not sailors, the first thing is whether they can actually
Stand it.
adapt to this life. Yeah. Now, the first thing that happens is they become shore crew. We've got Richard plus 3 youngsters as shore crew, and some of them are actually children of former lifeboats running through the families. Yeah. But then they need to do the basic lifeboat training at pool, and they get put through the paces where there's a wave pool and they can make it dark and all sorts. Yeah, and it's very, very good facility. And then when they've got on this, they become crew members either of the ALB or the ILB, and then gradually work their way up through the various training systems. What we got out there, I showed you briefly what we call the Y boat, a 2-person lifeboat, because this vessel draws 1.5 meters, so you can't get in everywhere that you might want to go searching for. So we got a Y boat, and this vessel has a crew of 7. The minimum we need is 5 persons for search and rescue capability. So we can afford to put 2 people in the Y boat out of the 7-person crew and still be an asset. There's a seat there, yeah. There's 6 more here, and we'll go through to there in a moment. But you've already seen they've all got straps on, and down in the survivors compartment, which is just down those steps there are 12 seats, all with straps on, because if this vessel is in righting mode and it's upside down, you understand also the need
So
for
is
the
that
straps.
airtight then?
down there.
Well, when this is shut, that's
Yeah.
another compartment. The
So
whole
if-
vessel is compartmentalised.
Yeah.
So the engine room down there, that has a hatch on. That's a hatch there. There's an inner hatch between where the stores are and where the survivors are, and that hatch door there. So everything is compartmentalised so that
You'd be able to breathe
this is.
in your cellar.
I mean, one of these actually went on the rocks. They were doing a service close, and the wave picked them up, dumped them on the rocks. 40 tons of vessel. On the rocks, we got the fuel was taken off her, the engines were taken out, the stores were taken out, so as to reduce the damage. The hull wasn't breached in a fortnight that it took to get it back off again. Fortnight because of the tidal cycle. Yep, on rocks with most vessels, not feasible. Very, very strong, beautiful boats. We have down below at the moment, just in that space you get down that way, twin Caterpillar engines. For those interested, 1250 horsepower, so 2,500 horsepower, driving 2 props, and we are looking to get the fleet upgraded by bigger engines, 1500 MTU engines, to extend the life of the fleet. There are no plans to replace these. They're much, much more capable in many respects, not as fast as, not as agile as, though you can actually spin these quite effectively in their length. But the jet boats are capable of being put ashore on the beach. They are capable of 40 knots. They're super duper. The gazelles of the RNLI, and there's one going to be going in at St Ives. They're rebuilding the boathouse for it now. But these boats, crew of 7, there's 12 survivor seats. Those seats there are capable of becoming stretcher bays, yeah, both that and your backrest there, and that's the doctor's seat. And we're rated to take, in writing mode, up to 28 people on board, including the crew. If we go into a mode that we call stability mode, and the coxswain's decision, depending on what is happening, but just imagine that there were a 4,000 person cruise ship in the bay and you've got to get people off it. Give you a chance to estimate the numbers that this vessel is rated to be able to take off.
200?
Not quite that many.
Oh, I don't know, I think they probably try.
100?
124 is the rated capacity. We talk in terms of 150 to 180.
we parked outside the Pandora for a meal, and our catamaran at the end of the pontoon. When we were sat there, a boat pulled up alongside. We had 30 people on our bow.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes 30 people, does it?
Yeah. Well, we had a party in the Baltic once on a Hallberg Grassy 29. I proved it was called a Hallberg Grassy 29 because of the size of the
Well,
party.
you could
not the
have
length of
just
the
on the
boat.
board there.
Yeah, it's just that we were.
We weren't terribly well ballasted. We have the capability just out behind you of getting a buoyant salvage pump out to another vessel, and we have pumping facilities on board, and actually that buoyant salvage pump there is of greater pumping capacity than the ship's pumps are. It's very effective. Very effective. Let's have a quick shove in here. Grab any of the seats you like, but please don't touch the switches because we are live.
Yeah. There you go. Would you want to sit up there?
You want to sit?
You want to sit on
No, you can't touch anything though. You sit in the middle one, where there are fewer buttons. There you go, sit there. Oops, no, you're not going to touch everything, Ethan. Otherwise we have to go.
That is a very, very good seat to sit in. Shall I tell you why?
Sit on.
It is the coxswain's seat, that one. That's where you get to when you are
The boss.
the boss. And do you notice how we can just hear ourselves in here at the moment? Yeah? How are you going to be able to speak to anybody who's out there when all the doors are shut and the windows are shut? Well, just down there, out there, is a loudspeaker. So the coxswain can talk to the foredeck, the crew on the foredeck, or they can talk back through that loudspeaker system. Yeah, so that's clever, and he's got one in the aft deck as well. Not only that, he can also, from this panel here, see what they're doing, because we've got a closed circuit television camera. And we've got another closed circuit television camera over here, and we've got another closed circuit television camera there, and that one is so that the engineer can look into the engine bay, so he can keep that under surveillance.
Right.
So who actually drives the boat? Do you drive the boat? Yeah? When do you need to drive the boat?
Very good.
That is precisely
He
it.
is listening.
And also, can you look out of that window and see the pontoon? Can you see the pontoon there? Not very well, can you? Yeah? Very difficult.
Stay sitting,
So-
stay sitting, Eden.
So, if you want to be able to see the pontoon and so you feel the elements, you need to be driving the boat from the flying bridge above your head now. Yeah? When we're out at sea and the doors of the hatches are all shut, then your deputy will be sitting here and driving the boat with the same facilities as if you were up on there. I mentioned that we've got a wheel because actually the Tamar class is driven by a joystick. It's like a jet fighter. Yep. and it's fly-by-wire. It's done by a computer. Feels so much better. You know what you're doing. And the engines, they're controlled from here. Yeah. Now, the good thing about these engines is that they are more like a racing car. In other words, you pre-select, the engine does the thinking, and then it puts itself into the gear and the revs that you need to do.
Feet out, feet out.
Very quickly then. Just here we've got a bow thruster, so if we're at a standstill we can move the bow to port or starboard. Here we've got autopilot, so we can switch the vessel over to a course and it'll steer itself straight. And here we got the trim tabs. So whereas we're controlling the trim on the ILB with the engines and with the ballast tank, we do that with the trim vanes on the back of the vessel on this. Here, it's obvious, it's the navigator's station. All electronic suite, but also if that goes down, manual backup. Yep, so paper charts. And here, the engineer, the mechanic.
But what we're talking about this one,
Yep.
The depth sounder, is it just down below or do you look forward?
No, it's down below.
Down below.
It's directly below, and it's. I think this vessel is tuned to below the keel depth, not waterline depth.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
But I don't know
We've
if
got
in that
forward
vessel.
looking
Yeah.
as well.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we're
Yeah.
just below, I think. Yeah. You know about AIS, don't you?
I've got it.
Yep.
You'll see it. Oh no, it's not
And
switched on at the moment.
we've-
We've got exactly
we've-
the same display as
We've
that.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're looking
Transponder.
at the Falmouth Lifeboat Station website, you're able to pick up
Yeah.
the AIS as well.
I get an email every time I leave port. You've left
Yeah.
port.
Yeah.
You're back in port.
Nice to know. As long as it's going to others as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Eden has more than survived his.
Yes, very good indeed.
very
That's
good.
lovely. Thank
So
you.
how many miles to...
Yeah.
Hey.
How many... what fuel consumption is this?
Um,
Roughly.
right. We're currently rated at 25 knots a max, 20 knots cruising.
Yeah.
We've got a 250-mile range
So,
at full speed.
yeah.
5 ton of diesel.
Yeah.
The disadvantage is that the aft deck is closed off while we do it.
Well, you put my mind at rest. If I need rescuing, I feel more secure.
Absolutely.
Patrick, how much did you say the boat cost?
About 2 million these. The Shannon's
much
about
running is?
Shannon that's given 85 pence goes to infrastructure and operation costs. 15 pence in the pound goes to further fundraising. So things like shops and the guilds and the like.
Not so sure I can get.
It was actually like the crew quite a lot more comfortable than I imagined. Yeah.
This is damn good stuff, this.
Yes, I will film in my bottom.
Yeah. I mean, keeping close up of it all the way up there.
Block the camera. Oh, thanks, sir.
One of the people who volunteers.
Don't trip over the steps.
I am guessing because the first one that we had was the 0